Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of the Balance Healing Creations podcast. Before we begin, let's just take a moment to arrive. Take a moment to notice your breath. Notice where your body is supported. Allow this moment to just be your pause, to slow down. Allow the chatter to soften. You don't need to change anything. Just let yourself be here. Take a moment and come back into the room. In the last episode, we talked about emotional responsibility and free will. Today, I want to talk about something that often gets overlooked: how addiction shows up in more ways than we usually recognize. This conversation is intended to be gentle. It's meant to bring awareness. So try your best not to judge yourself or others, but rather sit in the role of the observer. When most people hear the word addiction, instantly we go toward substances, alcohol, even sex is becoming more common. But addiction is really about regulation. It's about how we try to manage discomfort, pain, or intensity when we don't yet have the capacity to stay present with it. Addiction comes in many forms. Sometimes it does look like some substances, and sometimes it looks like constant talking or replaying stories in your head, or needing to get the feeling out of the body as quickly as possible. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring awareness to today. This is something that I have been working on myself. And most of us were never taught how to process emotions internally. So we learn to release them externally through talking, sharing, venting, even being a keyboard warrior, if you know what I mean. And sometimes that does genuinely help. But there are moments when sharing doesn't bring relief, where you actually feel like heavier after sharing. You feel more activated. You feel more unsettled. You feel emptier too. Sometimes I feel a weight on my chest. Something else is happening. And in that moment, that's when you can tune into your body and bring to your awareness that what you have just done is emotional discharge. It wasn't healing. It wasn't venting. You were just dumping your trauma, your emotions, whatever you're working through onto somebody else to give yourself that quick hit of relief. The same feeling that we get with our addictions. For me, one of mine is alcohol. I'm an alcoholic. I'm in recovery. But any emotion that I felt, I would just go to alcohol to not feel that emotion, to get that quick hit of release. That same feeling shows up with talking, sharing, keyboard warrior, what have you, where you do kind of feel that pit after you share, you feel remorse, regret for sharing your emotions before you even gave yourself the ability to process what you were feeling and why. The clearest way to tell the difference isn't in your thoughts, it's in your body. That's where slowing down comes in, tuning into your body. After you share, do you feel calmer or do you feel more activated? When I mean activated, I mean that weight on your chest, uneasy, unsettled, heavy, a pit in your stomach. When your body feels steadier, clearer, more grounded, the emotion has been integrated. When your body feels heavier, tighter, or more agitated, the emotion has been discharged. Discharge doesn't resolve the pain, it moves it. It's like slapping a Band-Aid on it. Sometimes constant sharing isn't about connection. It's about not yet having the capacity to stay with what we're feeling. Like, we live in such an urgency culture. So when we feel a resentment or a trigger that surfaces, you immediately want to not feel that, right? So you think you need to communicate with that person immediately, and feel like you need to tell them exactly how you feel. But you haven't given yourself the moment to slow down, the moment to tune in to your body and ask yourself, where am I feeling this in my body? The more you do this, the more it becomes a habit. When you can tune into those spots in your body, the easier it becomes for those visions to surface of where this originated from the past, because emotions are stored in our body. So back to one of my previous episodes talking about being a 4-year-old and you ate a piece of chocolate before finishing your vegetables and you got scolded. That ruined your confidence. That was stored in your solar plexus. But you were 4. You didn't know. You don't know what confidence is. You don't know these words for these emotions that you're feeling. I even know adults who don't even know words for what they're feeling. So how can you expect a 4-year-old to know that? So you store it in your body, and then a woman looks at you in the store the wrong way, but she's actually confused looking for a product just beyond where you're standing. But you take it personally and you're triggered. You're fired up. You want to tell her to, take a picture. It will last longer. But you didn't give yourself that moment to slow down and notice that you actually felt that unease in your solar plexus, that lack of confidence. So I share this story because we all experience this. It's not just some people. Everybody feels these experiences. They are just, gift wrapped in a different paper. When you feel these feelings, there's nothing wrong with you. It doesn't make you dramatic. It doesn't make you unhealthy. It makes you human. When emotions feel too intense to hold internally, the nervous system looks for relief. And if we haven't learned how to contain that energy, we offload it. If you feel like you're holding things in, if you feel like you do need to talk to someone, please go to talks to someone. Like, make sure you find someone that you trust or a professional. Because yes, talking to people is very helpful. I'm just trying to help bring awareness to the fact that the world needs to slow down. We need to tune in to ourselves, to our bodies. Pay attention to our body. Our body is a sacred messenger. Our body is the one that is trying to communicate with us. Speaking isn't the problem. What matters is how and when we speak. If emotions are still flooding your system, if your body hasn't had a moment to settle, it can be hard to even find the right words. If there is someone that you need to communicate with and you just try to offload onto them, but you haven't given yourself the space to catch up to what you're feeling, how are you able to articulate that to them? Those are the moments when we end up talking at someone instead of sharing with someone. Giving yourself a little space first, even a few minutes, to feel what you're feeling, to let your body catch up, that can change everything. And if you don't have the capacity to hold it on your own, that's okay. That's where support comes in. That licensed professional or that trusted person who knows how to listen without judgment, without trying to fix anything, and without giving advice. Just someone who can be there for you, hear you, and hold space for you. That kind of sharing doesn't empty you. It steadies you. Emotional responsibility is not about silence. It's not about blocking your throat, blocking your voice. It's about learning how to be with yourself so your pain doesn't need a place to land. So you don't have to discharge your pain onto somebody else, but you can rather give yourself that space and that opportunity to process that pain that you couldn't have given yourself when you were 4 years old and you didn't know what it meant. Awareness is what opens that door. And from there, choice becomes possible. That's how we shift. And practice helps strengthen the muscle. Emotional responsibility is a muscle that needs to be worked. It needs to be strengthened. It needs to be exercised. It's going to be hard in the beginning, but the more you practice it, the more second nature it becomes. We aren't perfect. We heal in our own time. And some lessons take a lot longer to learn than others. So remember to give yourself grace. Go easy with yourself. Give yourself the patience that you weren't given when you were 4. When we change our inner world, it becomes a ripple. And we shift our awareness, and we're able to give others that same grace and space that we're giving ourselves. As this episode comes to a close, I want you to give yourself a moment to notice your body again. If something softened, let that be enough. In the next episode, we'll talk about sovereignty and what it means to stop passing pain forward. Thank you so much for listening. If any of this landed for you, that is wonderful, and I'm so happy that my personal experiences can help shift another's. I pray that you take gentle care of yourself.